Good morning, everyone. Today is October the 6th. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do your Just for Today in a meditation. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our H.O.D Recovery Services. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and get into our meditation for today. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you're doing well. Okay, October 6th. Amends without expectation. Projections about actually making amends can be a major obstacle, both in making the list and in becoming willing. Basic text, page 39. The eighth step asks us to become willing to make amends to all persons we have harmed. As we approach this step, we may wonder what the outcome of our amends will be. Will we be forgiven? Relieved of any lingering guilt? Or will we be tarred and feathered by the persons we've harmed? Our tendency to seek forgiveness must be surrendered if we expect to receive the spiritual benefits of the eighth and ninth step. If we approach these steps expecting anything, we're likely to be very disappointed with the results. We want to ask ourselves if we are pinning our hopes on gaining the forgiveness of the person to whom we are making amends. Or maybe we're hoping we'll be excused from our debts by some sympathetic creditor moved to tears by our hard luck story. We need to be willing to make our amends regardless of the outcome. We can plan the amends, but we can't plan the results. Although we may not be granted a full pardon by everyone to whom we owe amends, we will learn to forgive ourselves. In the process, we will find that we no longer have to carry the burdens of the past. Just for today, I will let go of any expectations I have on the people to whom I owe amends. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer, please. Moment of silence now. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today. Whew, please and thank you. What a powerful meditation, right? Amends without expectations. And are we really able to do a step 8 and 9 without expecting the person that we're making the amends to accept it? I don't know. I mean, I feel that there's still a part of me that truly believes that if I humble myself enough and I let you know that I was wrong and that I have changed my life, I'm expecting a second chance with you. That there's that little thing in your head that says, if I say sorry, that should be enough. If I ask for forgiveness, wait, if I say sorry and ask for forgiveness, because they're two different things, right? And then thirdly, I tell you that I have changed. Why wouldn't you be okay with me? Why wouldn't you want to go have coffee with me? Right? Why wouldn't you want to invite me back to your house to barbecue whenever I go in your house, I finger lift, I take something that doesn't belong to me? Why wouldn't you want to do that? There's still, honestly, this little thing in me that says, asking for forgiveness is not easy, right? Saying sorry isn't easy. They're not the same. Asking for forgiveness, secondly, and then making sure that you've changed your life enough so that if they look at your life, look over it, they can say, yeah, she's not a thief anymore. She runs a whole business. She has to pay her bills, right? That's kind of what we all do. I mean, no one probably really wants to talk about it, but really, this meditation is so pointed, it's so perfect because that's what I think we all think about without actually saying, I expect to be forgiven. You know, but people are not your God. People are not my God. People are not my higher power. I believe my higher power is loving and caring, forgiving, all of that good, beautiful stuff. But people are not, generally speaking, they can come up to that level or go to that level or down to that level, however you want to put it, right? Um, they can have those spiritual virtues, principles of forgiveness and the ability to have altruism. They can do all of that, but they don't do it perfectly because they're imperfect people, just like I am. I can't tell you how many times someone has come to me and apologized and said, I am so sorry. Can you forgive me? And because of my pride, thinking to myself, well, they went through all that. Of course, I should forgive. And I say, oh, yeah, it's no problem. Thanks. Thanks for the apology. I appreciate it. And then come to find out, maybe not even a day or two later, or a week later, a month later, someone brings their name up, and you know what? It's the first thing I tell them. I cannot believe he did such and such. Do you remember such and such? And then he and so actually, have I forgiven them? Absolutely not, because it's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of them. See, forgiveness is when I take love and I place it in front of what has happened. And instead of seeing what you did, I see love in front of you. I see humanness in front of you. I see my God in front of you. I see the fact that I have also, like our meditation from the fifth, right? I have also erred against you, or maybe not against you, just other people doing the same exact thing. So, yeah, we need to give people room to grow into accepting our amends. We need to give them the grace to grow into that, grow into forgiving us, grow into taking the time they need to cleanse themselves of all the resentment they've harbored against us for however long it's been since we've hurt them. Because that's what I want. And that's what I need. So I'm hoping, with this meditation here, that we can let go of our expectations. We can't let go perfectly. I just believe it's not going to be a perfect application of letting go of the expectations. But if you train yourself to understand that saying sorry is not the same as asking for forgiveness, asking for forgiveness is made more full, right? More robust if the behavior has changed because some work has been done, right? I always tell people, my mother used to be a seamstress. She sewed wedding gowns and she loved to use Venus lace. The needle on her sewing machine that she needed to use to sew on something that delicate is not the same type of needle that she will sew denim on. So if she's making a repair for someone, depending on the type of material and the extent of the damage, will determine what tools she used. In other words, what type of amend, what type of an amend or a mend, get it? Amend that she will make on that particular garment. And this is what we need to realize. When we have damaged something so badly, and we go to make an amends, depending on how damaged the situation has become, how much injury we have caused, will determine what type of an amend we need to make. And just like with my mother and her work that she used to do, the outcome is not always going to look pretty. I can remember a beautiful dress she made for me that was chiffon. And it was a very long gown. And this is back when I was really, preaching and going, moving around in Africa and doing things like preaching in huge, churches, small churches, country churches, village churches, rather. Right? This was back then. And I remember she made something out of chiffon for me, and it was beautiful, very flowing. And it just tore just a little bit on the shoulder, but it tore in a way that I could put a scarf around it and hide it. But she still tried to make the mend on this chiffon. And I was amazed at the skill. It wasn't perfect. It was definitely still flawed. And if you stared at it long enough, you would see it. But she did the best she could with what she was working with, and of all the products that were available at that time to make men's on chiffon, she did quite excellent. So with the help of your sponsor, you should know what type of needle, what type of material, what type of tool you're going to need to use to make that amends. And once you do that effort, my mother didn't say, do you like it? You want me to remake the dress? No, because it already costs a lot of money to get the material to make it. She didn't say, you want me to do something different. She did the best she could with what she had to work with. And I looked at that and I judged that as sufficient for my use. And I knew that I could make a small adjustment with a scarf and no one would notice. Right? And sometimes that's how it is. When we're making these amends, when we're doing the step 9 with people, we have to really look at the details in that step 8 with our sponsor. And then with our sponsor, we determine the level of the application of step 9. I hope I can go on forever about this, right? I hope that helps you. I hope that you think about today about letting go of the response that you're expecting people to have when you come to them with your amends, right? Don't worry about that. If it's not good enough, let them throw a scarf around it, right? Let them throw a scarf around it and make it look better for themselves, right? But the internal work, you do that. That's your job. That's your side of the street. You do a good job on that, and you're going to feel better. You're going to feel free, right? My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I'm going to be talking to you tomorrow. But in the meantime, I want for you to have a beautiful day on purpose.